So you finally unplugged from the matrix. You've stopped eating garbage, and you feel better than you have in your entire life. The medical conditions, they've started to reverse. The weight that you've carried for a decade is finally starting to melt away. Your mental clarity is to the roof. Everything's coming up roses. But then, some things you didn't expect start to happen. Let's talk about 5 unintended consequences of the carnivore diet, right here on the Carnivore Science Channel. Unintentional consequence number 1. You're not going to be able to shut up. I haven't been able to shut up since, week 1 of doing this diet. It's miraculous. The results are miraculous, and you want to run around and tell everybody about it. So it doesn't matter where I am, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to interject with some kind of, hey, you know what would fix that? When I hear somebody complaining about their back or having diabetes or having no energy or just anything, because pretty much most of the Western diseases are caused by all of the garbage that we're putting in our mouth. So when I see somebody at work and they're eating a Twinkie and simultaneously complaining about the fact that they've got, skin tags and corns the size of, their thumbs, I just can't shut up. I cannot shut up. I can't shut up. I can't do it. I try. I'll bite my lip. And you got to know who to talk to. This is important to understand. So prepare for this unintentional consequence and know who you can talk to, because sometimes you will really step in it, because there are people who are seriously brainwashed. Here's an example. There was one guy and got highly, highly insulted when I talked about how sugar is poisoning your mitochondria, that it's actually like poison. It is an addictive substance. This guy got really offended because all he could say is, my mama fed me that ever since I was 2 years old, and my mama wouldn't give me nothing that was bad. I live in the South, so I thought I'd do a little dialect there. But, he got really mad because I somehow, just by telling him that, insinuated his mama was feeding him poison. So he got really mad, and then he doesn't speak to me anymore. So you got to be careful about things like that. But yeah, it's a thing. You're not going to be able to be quiet. Once you see what it can do for you, you are not going to be able to shut up. So just be ready for it. Unintentional consequence number 2. You may be shunned and ostracized just a little bit. People are watching you, and they'll notice even if they don't know and you didn't tell them that you're doing this new way of eating. They're watching you, at the work luncheons, pull the roast beef off your sandwich and scrape the cheese off with a napkin, and the mayonnaise. Mayonnaise got a lot of soy in it. It's disgusting. Anyway, so they're watching you, and they're, about her. She's got, she's that weirdo that won't eat anything but meat. They talk about you a lot. It's rough, actually, But then, what's kind of funny, what I like, is that once, I lost a whole bunch of weight, and they kind of don't laugh anymore at that point. When you lose the weight, because a lot of these people are on some strange diets that they pay a lot of money for that don't work at all. So if anybody should be laughing at anybody, it's probably them for wasting their money, because they go back to these places over and over and over again. I know one lady who she goes to this place that she pays for, and she pays for, it's probably crappy vitamin B or something, like a proprietary blend or something of some kind of vitamin. And she pays a fee for that, and she pays a fee to go and be seen. I don't know what the people that she goes to see are looking at exactly. She's not getting injections, but it's a special meal plan. kind of like Weight Watchers. It hasn't worked. It didn't work the last time she did it, and that was like 3 years ago, and she's doing it again. Isn't the definition of insanity doing the same thing over and over and over again? And I'm the insane one for eating only meat? I don't know. It doesn't compute. But you're going to get the looks and the whispers and the finger pointing. You know, it's kind of uncomfortable at first. But eventually, you know, we'll see who's on top, right? Who's going to have the stamina, the energy? Who's going to have the weight loss? Oh, that's me. That's right. So be ready for that. Unintentional consequence number 3. Physician cage match. I gotta say, this is my favorite one. It wasn't at first. When I first went back to my doctor and I told her that I was doing, well, at first it was keto. Keto they can stomach now. You know, they can, it's kind of like a mid-tier curse word. They can just make the face and keep going with that one. You know, but you start dropping F-bombs like carnivore, oh my God. I mean, there's this thing where, you know, they can actually commit you like involuntarily. I was worried about that a couple of times, you know, because don't you know, heart disease, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah. I'm a medical technologist. You know, I do know about the lab tests because I'm aware of them. I know the ranges and whatnot and the recommended blabbity blabbity blue and all that kind of stuff. But just very condescending and very mad. Like, why would you be mad if your patient has lost, let's see, at that point, 60, I think at that point it was like 60 pounds, has cured her high blood pressure, and all the other problems like fibromyalgia. Don't even get me started on that one. Everything that was wrong with me, and there's a laundry list, was gone. And the only thing I had changed is I stopped listening to her and I started eating clean. This even started on keto. Now I finished up the rest of it. I had more problems later, but cured that with carnivore. But she actually was angry. I mean, this woman, I thought she was going to take a swing at me. When I actually had, and this is just my case. I'm not giving anybody physicians advice here. God forbid, because it's so valuable. In my case, I'm being a little bit snarky, but you have to understand. I mean, this was traumatic going through this with this woman. I had thyroid dysfunction. You know, my TSH was not normal. I think T4, whatever it was. And I knew that it had to do with my diet. And this was before I actually started heavy, I believe, keto. So I was going to be clean, though. It's like a clean keto. And this was years ago. And she was mad at me and she wanted me to go on thyroid medicine. And I said, no, I'm going to try nascent iodine. Because I know about, you know, when you look at agriculture and you look at the soil and you look at what we could be potentially depleted of, and even the animals could be, I mean, it depends on where you live. But I had an idea that was probably what's going on because your thyroid depends on that. It also depends on, I believe, selenium and several other things. But in particular, iodine is a weird one because it is harder to get sometimes depending on where you live, like through foods. So I felt like I needed a nascent iodine supplement. So I said, no, thank you. And she was pissed, you know, not happy, voiced her opinion, threatened me that, you know, well, maybe you should go to another doctor if you don't want to take that medicine. I was like, maybe I should, you know. I didn't at the time, but I said, well, let's just see. I was working with her. I don't know why. Why was I working with this woman? But I felt like I needed to. So I'm working with her, and then she, you know, I come back after 3 months, and imagine my shock when I see all of my values are normal. Imagine that. We even got an advanced panel done. How about that? And I was like, and of course, you know, because I'm me, I had to show her point my finger at it and make her look at it and say, oh, look at this. Isn't this normal? Remember, it was not normal before, and you were saying that the only way to save me was to go on to your drug, and then I did not, and I went and I did my thing, and it looks like it worked. So I won. I didn't do the little song or anything, and I didn't sound like that, but I really wanted to, because she was hateful. I hated this woman. I'm using the word hate here. Not as another human being, but I mean, I felt hatred toward her. She was very nasty to me, and I'm a professional person. I mean, I know some stuff. I'm not, I wasn't coming up with, some sort of witch's brew or some kind of Wiccan ritual. I mean, I was talking about actual nutrients that you need. She treated me as if, when I said I was going to take iodine, that I was going to turn up a gallon of gasoline. That is exactly how she reacted. As if it's toxic. She reacted. She treated me as if iodine was toxic. So anyway, I'm way off the beaten path here. But then later comes the carnivore thing. Now, you would think that the reaction to the iodine supplementation was bad enough. But let me tell you, honey, when you brought up the C word to her, when you talk about carnivore, I mean, that's when I thought she was going to pull out the commitment papers and just, I forgot what it's called. Is it Article 5? I can't remember. But anyway, I thought she was going to put me in some kind of rubber room because she was pissed. She was pissed. And she brought up again that maybe I shouldn't be her patient. And then she starts talking about my LDL. Oh my God. If I had a nickel for every time I heard somebody talk about LDL and how it needs to be eradicated, as if it's some sort of I don't know, genocidal particle or something. I do not understand their fix. Well, yeah, I do. I take that back. See, I'm going off and I'm saying I don't understand, but I really do, because statins are, I think, one of the largest class of drugs, profit-wise, ever invented. I don't guess there's a correlation between that, right? We're not supposed to really connect the dots on this crap. But anyway, she was pushing that statin. She wanted me to have that statin. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Based on what I'm seeing now, no. And based on what I know already about that drug, having worked in clinical trial materials, yeah, no, not touching that with a 10-foot pole. So when you go carnivore, if you come out of the closet, then get ready, because you're going to get discriminated against, and hard. I still wish we could have had a cage match, though. I could have taken her. Unintentional consequence number 4. You become a hypochondriac. I did, a little bit. After being so free of pain for so long and feeling so great, if you ever, for whatever reason, do have some kind of pain or something bothers you, then you might freak out a little bit. I mean, I woke up one day and I slept the wrong way and I had neck pain, and I was like, oh my God, what is the matter with me? What is this new sensation that I'm feeling that I just can't even recognize? I just can't put my finger on it. What the hell is going on? I was just like, oh my God, there's something terribly wrong with me. No, I just slept wrong and I had a crick in my neck, but it had been so long since I had felt any kind of pain. It freaked me out. I'm just going to be straight up. I was a puss. I was being a puss. It freaked me out. And I pulled a muscle under my rib. And that was like rather painful, but I mean, it was there and gone like almost instantaneously. Both injuries, or if you call them injuries, both events like disappeared within a day. I mean, they were gone as soon as they came. And I think about the way my life was before, where every day was just a festival of pain. I mean, I would wake up and go, what the hell's going to break today? I should, start placing bets on what part of my body is going to be dysfunctional. That is what my life was like. Because, oh, you're old, you're in your 50s, you got to get ready for everything to die and everything's going to start falling apart. I literally hear that every day from people. Isn't that sad? That is so sad. But yeah, if you go carnivore and you fix problems, your medical problems, eventually, and you probably won't even notice, I've heard this from a lot of people, is that sometimes you'll be walking around, like if you have a bad knee, for instance, and you go carnivore, you'll be walking around the house and, say you had a limp for 10 years or something. One day you'll notice that you're walking normally. That's just a miracle to me. And it's great. All of this is great, but you might get freaked out when things happen, and things do happen, and things, your body, can be, have something wrong. So don't freak out if you have a pain here or there, because you will have those, but it just, sometimes it feels like, I don't know, too good to be true is all I can say. But that is just something you have to look out for. And the final, and saving the best for last, unintentional consequence number 5 of going carnivore is that you may want to strangle your family members. I know I do. They're driving me crazy with the dishes and the cooking and the what's for dinner. I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. What do you want? You want Taco Bell? No, I want KFC. Well, I don't want KFC. I want Taco Bell. Well, I want to go to McDonald's. I don't feel like McDonald's. And I'm like, would you just please shut the hell up and shove something in your pie hole, because I am so tired of hearing it. But you know what? When they say they're going to go out to dinner, I'm actually kind of glad. You know why? Because they're not screwing up my kitchen. I go in there, there's dishes everywhere. People are constantly cooking stuff, because God forbid that the rest of those people will eat the same thing. No, because we're all addicted to food, and we are slave to our cravings. That's it. We are slaves to our cravings. So, you've got 3 different meals going at any different time. There are different intervals, or people coming in at different times of the day. I have teenagers. Well, they're adults. You're talking 20 to 22 range. So they're in and out, and half the time making a mess. They've got multiple pans and bowls and mixing things and coating things and breading things and frying things and baking things, and lots and lots of utensils and dishes and condiments and whatnot. And I'm like, one pan, I've got one pan, I've got one fork, I've got one knife and one plate. That is all. Ingredient wise, you've got a piece of meat, you've got butter. That's pretty much it. And salt. So watching that makes you really, really want to just, throttle them. It's just annoying. It's annoying to hear. It's annoying to live through. And a lot of times I just kind of quietly just disappear to the other area of the house, because, I used to be them. I remember, the sauces and the ingredients, and you have to go to the store and you got to get your ingredients because they got to be fresh, because they're going to, crap the bed in about a day or so, because lettuce, if you look at produce now, that's really sad. Produce craps the bed so fast. I've looked into a little bit of this, but the way that they handle food, produce and fruits and vegetables and stuff is really scary if you start looking into it. But, I remember being there. I was there. I did it. I used to, crave things, but they are a slave to their cravings. That's the way we got to look at this. You got to look at this whole issue, and we've got to look at it that way, because this is exactly what's going on. Most of the people in this country and a lot of other countries are addicted to the food. No. I'm going to back up. Sorry. I called it food. Are addicted to frankenfood, or garbage, for lack of a better term, chemically laced, addictive garbage. They are addicted to this so bad, and it's like, we have to face up to the fact that is what we're fighting. That's exactly what we're fighting. When you unplug from this matrix that is the food supply, the status quo, big pharma, big agriculture, big food. The only way, when you tell an addict that, the only way that we break free of this is if we admit we have a problem. So we're going to have to admit that we are addicts. I had to admit that I'm an addict. I cannot eat certain things. These things are not meant to be eaten in moderation. If you are overweight and you are like, well, I just must be defective because other people, I guess, can just eat in moderation, but I can't because I'm weak or whatever, weak-willed. That is not the case. These things are created to be addictive. They are created to hook you in, to get you coming back for more. It's a chemical reaction that's going on. It's not your willpower. It's not based on that. All of that eat less and move more shit is for the birds, and it's over with. And I think that, there's been more than enough, people that have proved that, who have experienced the fact that if they don't, eat the chemicals and the garbage and the sugars and the refined carbohydrates and the brominated flour and all the things. I mean, if I sat here and named off all the harmful things that are in food, I'd be sitting here for 3 hours at least. So, but it does make, it makes you wonder. It's like, I don't know how this is all going to end. I really don't. I don't know where this is going, but I really hope it's in the right direction. But in the meantime, a word of advice, just be patient with your family members or your roommates because you used to be them. Well, I hope you guys found this video really helpful. And if you like it, hit the like button and please subscribe. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye.